Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today we're going to be talking about the debut album from Weezer. This was released on May 10th, 1994, and this was also known as the Blue Album. DGC Records, David Geffen Company, and it was produced by Rick Ocasek from the Cars. And recorded at Electric Lady Studios in New York City. Now, there were 3 singles on this album. Undone, the Sweater Song, Buddy Holly, which has gone on to be a very well-known song, and Say It Ain't So, which was a sort of one of those grunge alternative things, which was the big thing at the time. Music videos directed by Spike Jonze, who was working with the band, kind of drove this particular album to a huge success. Now, Weezer had been around since '92. Rivers Cuomo had put the band together along with Patrick Wilson on drums, Matt Sharp on bass, and Jason Cropper. And they played around LA. But as they were starting to gain some popularity, because a lot of that sound kind of was coming into play thanks to groups like Nirvana and that whole sort of movement, what they call alternative music, which I think is a load of junk. But they started to get some attraction and eventually signed to DGC Records. Now, they were getting ready to record the debut, and so they started working on their vocal sort of harmony, which is quite interesting. Cuomo and Sharp made for an interesting duo, and Matt Sharp had not really ever done much singing before he was in Weezer, and he kind of developed this falsetto background vocal because he had to sing over Rivers in the harmony, and so eventually they were starting to get together. And they were going to produce the album themselves, but Geffen wanted them to have a producer, and so they went with Rick Ocasek. Rivers Cuomo said he was a big Cars fan, and he liked Rick Ocasek's songwriting, so it was a natural pairing, I think, and it worked. Now, what happened was when they got into the studio, they were in the middle of recording, and Jason Cropper left the band and brought in Brian Bell, who replaced him. And a lot of people are not sure how much Brian actually contributed to the album, if at all. So that's been open for debate. But I think really what happened was Rivers Cuomo re-recorded a lot of the Cropper guitar parts. So at any rate, it's at least the guys you see on the cover, if not one of them. And Rick Ocasek said Rivers did it all in one take in one day. But Brian Bell is listed in there. Now, Cropper is given songwriting credit for the opening track, My Name is Jonas. Here's the thing about this album, and this was a college album for me that I discovered when I was in college, thanks to the music videos that I was seeing. I liked the look of the band, so I bought this album on cassette tape and listened to it. And one of the things that struck me immediately, aside from I like the catchy songs and the sort of overall feel of the album, there's not a bad song on this album. I feel like every song on this album just goes right into the next and flows perfectly. Incredibly catchy stuff like Holiday, Surf Wax America, In the Garage. But then you have these sort of almost heartbreaking things like No, the World is Turned and Left Me Here, No One Else, Only in Dreams, which is sort of the epic closing track. It's just it's a good almost power pop record with the sort of heavy distorted guitars, great backbeat, and incredibly melodic singing and songwriting from Rivers. Worthy debut and an iconic album now. One of the great all-time albums. Weezer, the Blue Album, self-titled. What do you think? Comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. Say it all the time. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. In the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.